What if everything you were told about osteoarthritis is wrong? For decades, doctors called it a disease of wear and tear. They said your joints wore down from too much use, too much weight, too much movement. They told you to rest more, move less, and accept that your cartilage was simply grinding away like brake pads on a car. But here's the truth. That explanation is outdated, and it's been holding millions of seniors back from the relief they deserve. A groundbreaking shift in medical understanding now shows that osteoarthritis is not caused by using your joints too much. It's caused by chronic, low-grade inflammation that slowly destroys the cartilage from the inside out. And once you understand this, everything changes. Because inflammation can be reduced, cartilage can be protected, and pain that seemed permanent can actually improve. Research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association confirms that inflammatory markers, not mechanical stress, are the primary predictors of osteoarthritis progression. This means the old advice to stop moving and rest your joints was not just unhelpful, it was counterproductive. It made the problem worse. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast. Today, Japan's oldest doctor is going to explain what osteoarthritis really is, why the old wear and tear theory was completely wrong, and 4 specific ways you can reverse the pain and protect your joints starting today. Doctor, this is one of the most interesting episodes we've ever done for anyone living with joint pain. Why does it matter so much?
John, it matters because the wrong explanation leads to the wrong solution. For years, we told patients to stop moving because movement was supposedly destroying their joints. We told them that their pain was inevitable, that cartilage simply wears out with age. But this discouraged people from doing the very things that would help them. Now we know better. Osteoarthritis is driven by inflammation, not by motion. And that means we can fight it. We can actually do something about it.
That's a complete shift in thinking. But before we get into the 4 ways to reverse the pain, I want everyone with osteoarthritis to engage. Leave us with a comment if you've been told your joint pain is just wear and tear, and if you've been avoiding movement because you were afraid of making it worse.
Yes, please share. Because if you've been living with this outdated belief, today is the day that changes. Today is the day you learn what's really happening in your joints and what you can actually do about it.
Now, doctor, let's start at the beginning. If osteoarthritis isn't wear and tear, what is it actually? What's really going on inside the joint?
Good question. Osteoarthritis is a condition that affects the cartilage, the smooth protective layer that covers the ends of your bones and allows them to glide against each other without friction. When this cartilage breaks down, the bones begin to rub together. Pain and stiffness follow. Eventually, bone spurs can form. The joint becomes inflamed and swollen.
And for years, we blamed that breakdown on mechanical stress, right? On overuse.
Yes. The thinking was simple and intuitive. Heavy people have more knee and hip arthritis. Therefore, weight and pressure must be destroying the cartilage. Use the joint too much and it wears out. It made sense on the surface. But this theory had a major flaw that nobody could explain.
Okay, so what was the flaw?
If osteoarthritis was truly caused by mechanical stress, by pressure and friction, it would only appear in weight-bearing joints, like knees and hips. Yet people develop osteoarthritis in their hands, their fingers, their neck, their shoulders, joints that bear almost no weight at all. How could wear and tear explain osteoarthritis in the fingers of someone who never did manual labor?
That's a good point. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. The mechanical theory couldn't explain it, so researchers looked deeper, and what they found changed everything. The true cause is chronic low-grade inflammation. The immune system sends inflammatory cells to the joint, and these cells release chemical substances called cytokines that slowly destroy the cartilage over time. It's not the joint being worn down from the outside by friction. It's being attacked from the inside by your own immune system.
So inflammation is the real culprit.
Yes, and understanding this opens the door to real solutions, because we can reduce inflammation. We can actually change the internal environment of the body and protect the cartilage that remains and slow or stop further destruction.
I understand. So what triggers this inflammation in the first place?
Several factors, actually. First of all, genetics play a role, and we can't change our genes. But one of the most important discoveries in recent decades involves fat tissue. We used to think fat was just passive storage, just extra weight sitting on the body, doing nothing. Now we know that fat tissue is metabolically active. It functions almost like an endocrine organ. It produces chemical messengers called adipokines.
Adipokines.
Yes. The first adipokine, called leptin, was discovered in 1994. Since then, scientists have identified over 100 different adipokines. These are chemical signals produced by fat cells that travel through the bloodstream and affect tissues throughout the entire body.
And these adipokines cause inflammation.
When present in excess, absolutely. They create a pro-inflammatory state throughout the entire body. This is why people with obesity develop osteoarthritis, not just in their knees and hips, but in their hands and neck as well. It's not about the weight pressing down on the joint. It's about the inflammation circulating through the bloodstream, reaching every joint in the body, attacking cartilage wherever it finds it.
So the inflammation comes first, and the cartilage damage follows.
Precisely. The adipokines create inflammation. The inflammation attracts immune cells. The immune cells release cytokines. The cytokines destroy cartilage. It's a cascade, a chain reaction. And once you understand this chain, you can start breaking the links, which leads us to the first of 4 ways to reverse osteoarthritis: pain.
All right, everyone, please pay attention. Play back the previous part if there is anything you do not understand yet, because this is where it gets practical. Doctor, tell us, what's the first way?
The first way is weight loss, but not for the reason you might think. Yes, losing weight reduces the mechanical load on your knees and hips, but far more importantly, it reduces the amount of adipokines your body produces. Fewer adipokines means less systemic inflammation. Less inflammation means slower cartilage destruction and significantly less pain.
So even a small amount of weight loss could help.
Absolutely. A landmark study published in Arthritis and Rheumatology in 2018 followed over 400 adults with knee osteoarthritis and found that participants who lost just 10% of their body weight experienced a 50% reduction in pain and significant improvements in joint function. The researchers concluded that the benefits came primarily from reduced inflammation, not just reduced mechanical stress. This is why people with hand osteoarthritis also improve when they lose weight, even though their hands bear no weight at all. The hands aren't experiencing less pressure. They're experiencing less inflammation.
That's a powerful reframe. It's not about lightening the load on the joint. It's about calming the fire inside the body.
Exactly right. Every pound of fat lost is a reduction in the inflammatory chemicals circulating through your system. And this leads directly to the second way, which might surprise people who have been told to rest their painful joints and avoid activity.
I think I know where this is going, and I think a lot of people need to hear it.
The second way is movement. I say this often, John. Motion is lotion. Moving the joint, using the cartilage, putting weight on it. These actions are not harmful. They are healing. They are exactly what the joint needs.
But so many people are afraid to move because they think they're grinding down their cartilage. They think every step is causing more damage.
And that fear is based on the old incorrect wear and tear model. Let me tell you what actually happens when you move. Inside every joint, there's a fluid called synovial fluid. This fluid nourishes the cartilage, delivers nutrients, removes waste products, and lubricates the joint surfaces. But here's the critical point. Synovial fluid only circulates when you move the joint. When you stay still, the fluid becomes thick and stagnant, like honey that's been sitting in a cold jar, crystallized, sticky.
And movement warms it up, gets it flowing, I assume?
Exactly. When you move, you stir the honey. You warm it, it becomes fluid and clear again. The cartilage receives better nutrition. Waste products are cleared away. The joint functions more smoothly. This is why people feel stiff after sitting for long periods and feel looser and more comfortable after they start moving around.
And is there research showing this directly?
There is. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Orthopedic Research in 2019 examined cartilage health in astronauts before and after extended space missions. In space, there's no gravity, so the joints bear no weight whatsoever. Based on the old wear and tear theory, you would expect that to protect the cartilage beautifully. No stress, no damage, right? But the opposite happened. Astronauts who spent extended time in space returned to Earth with measurably thinner cartilage and reduced synovial fluid in their joints. The lack of movement and weight-bearing actually accelerated joint deterioration, not prevented it.
That's remarkable. What about on the other end? People who use their joints heavily?
Athletes who stress their joints repeatedly, who run and jump and put enormous demands on their cartilage, actually have thicker, healthier cartilage than sedentary people. The body builds what it needs based on the demands placed upon it. If you stop moving, the body concludes that the joint is no longer important and stops investing resources in maintaining it. If you keep moving, the body prioritizes that joint and actively maintains the cartilage.
So the cartilage adapts and strengthens with use.
Yes, use it or lose it is literally true for cartilage. This is why I recommend water exercises, swimming, cycling, walking, dancing, anything that keeps the joints moving through their full range of motion. The specific activity matters less than the consistency. Move every day. Your cartilage depends on it.
That's incredibly hopeful. So we have weight loss to reduce inflammation and movement to nourish the cartilage. What's the third way?
The third way addresses something that most doctors never discuss. It's the reason why two people with identical X-rays can have completely different experiences of pain.
Can you give an example of this?
Yes. I once saw a patient with a neck X-ray showing almost no osteoarthritis, just minimal changes, yet they were in severe, debilitating pain. Then I saw a 92-year-old man who came in after a fall. His X-ray showed some of the worst osteoarthritis I've ever seen. Bone spurs everywhere, collapsed discs. But he had never experienced a single day of neck pain in his life.
How is that even possible?
Because pain is not just a direct measurement of tissue damage, it is an experience created by the brain. In some people, the nervous system becomes hypersensitive over time. We call this central sensitization. A small pain signal enters the spinal cord, and instead of being processed normally, the brain literally amplifies it. It turns up the volume.
And the body's natural ability to suppress that pain stops working.
Exactly. We have our own internal pharmacy. The brain can release powerful natural opioids like endorphins to suppress pain before we even feel it. But in people with chronic pain, this suppression system often fails. They lose the ability to turn the volume down. This is why a minor joint issue can cause agonizing pain for one person, while severe arthritis causes no pain for another.
So treating the joint isn't enough if the brain is still sounding the alarm.
Correct. This is why treating osteoarthritis requires treating the nervous system. Mind-body therapies, relaxation techniques, and meditation help retrain the pain system. They restore the brain's ability to regulate those signals appropriately.
That's fascinating. Once people understand their pain is real but changeable, it must be a huge relief.
It is. The volume can be turned down. Hope is absolutely justified.
Okay, so we have weight loss, movement, and addressing central sensitization. What's the fourth way?
The fourth way is diet, specifically an anti-inflammatory diet. Since osteoarthritis is driven by chronic inflammation, what we eat directly impacts how much inflammation circulates in our body. Every meal is either feeding the fire or helping to extinguish it.
What should people focus on eating more of?
More fish, especially fatty fish, rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. More olive oil, which contains oleocanthal, a natural anti-inflammatory compound. More fruits and vegetables, especially colorful ones rich in antioxidants. More nuts, more legumes, more whole grains. These foods contain compounds that actively reduce inflammation throughout the body.
And what should people avoid?
Processed foods, refined sugars, white flour, fried foods, excessive red meat, sugary drinks. These create a pro-inflammatory environment that accelerates cartilage destruction. They feed the very inflammation that's attacking your joints. Every time you choose a processed snack over a piece of fruit, you're making a choice that affects your joint health.
What about supplements like turmeric? I hear about that a lot.
Turmeric has genuine anti-inflammatory properties and can be a helpful addition to your approach. The active compound is called curcumin. I recommend incorporating turmeric into cooking rather than relying on supplements alone. It pairs well with rice, soups, chicken, curry dishes, many foods. But turmeric alone won't overcome a fundamentally poor diet. The foundation must be whole, unprocessed, anti-inflammatory foods, eaten consistently.
So diet isn't just about weight loss, it's about changing the chemical environment inside the body.
Exactly. You can lose weight eating processed diet foods and still have high inflammation. Or you can eat real, whole anti-inflammatory foods and transform your internal chemistry even before significant weight loss occurs. The goal is to create an internal environment where cartilage can heal and regenerate instead of being constantly attacked and destroyed.
Doctor, this has been genuinely eye-opening. 4 ways to reverse osteoarthritis pain, and not one of them is stop using your joints or just accept the pain.
That's the key message, John. The old advice to rest and protect your joints was well-intentioned but fundamentally misguided. Movement heals. Weight loss reduces the inflammatory chemicals attacking your cartilage. Mind-body practices calm the oversensitized nervous system, and diet changes the chemical environment inside your body. Together, these 4 approaches address the true causes of osteoarthritis, not just the symptoms.
Any final thoughts for everyone watching?
Yes, remember, osteoarthritis does not have to mean constant pain. It does not have to steal your mobility or your independence. The cartilage you have right now can be protected and nourished. The inflammation can be reduced, and the pain system can be retrained. Start with one change today. One walk, one healthy meal, one moment of stillness. Your joints will thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Everyone, let us know in the comments which of the 4 ways you're going to start with this week. If this helped, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And make sure to watch this next episode.
Oh, this is a good one. People should see
People should
this.
definitely watch. See you there.